Hello everybody, welcome to Coco's Crochet. I'm Litza and thank you so much for joining me today while I bring you our episode number 5 for crocheting with blanket yarn. Now many of you may already know, but those of you that don't know, I will let you know that I have a very substantial stash of blanket yarn. So I had a little thought along the way when I started crocheting some items for myself and for family and friends that I might just make a little mini series and share with you all my makes along the way. Reason being, some of you may have never worked with blanket yarn and are very curious to find out, what could you actually apply it to? Some of you may have sworn that you will never use it, and I might be able to change your mind possibly. Not that I'm trying to, but I'm just saying that you might be interested and inspired by what I have to show you. And other of you may just have some sitting around in your stash that you may have been gifted some or pick some up, on sale and aren't quite sure what to do with it. I was pretty much the same, but I was always intrigued by it, and I love the fact and the idea that when you work with blanket yarn, you either produce a project very, very quickly, which is always very, very appealing, or you can apply it to a smaller item, like let's say for example a small amigurumi, and make it bigger. And that really, really excites me because it means that we can play. So along the way, as I said, this is project number 5. If you go and see our little playlist, you will see the other 4 items that we've created along the way, and I will show them to you also at the end of this video, just to get you a little bit excited about them if you haven't already done so. So this week's project, or this episode's project, is one that I've been wanting to make for a long time, but after cleaning up my yarn room, I realized that my floors were a little bit had seen better days, and I thought, why not make a floor rug? Now the reason why I call it a floor rug on this video is because we have friends all over the world. Like, I would call it a mat. Some of you might call it a rug. I would call it a rug as well, but others refer to a blanket as a rug as well. So I just wanted to make it very clear when you see it, it is actually for the floor. And the space that I have allocated for it is just behind you. And those of you that have seen our tour of our yarn room will know exactly where it is, the spot that I'm telling you about. And if you haven't already done so, please go and see that video. So basically on our lounge there's a ledge, and on it sits a beach towel where it was Coco's favorite place to sit. And opposite that, I have my stash of Spot Saver yarn and some Malaga yarn as well from Hobbii. And in the middle, there's a patch of carpet that really needed to be dressed up a little bit and shown some love. And this is exactly where this floor rug is going to be sitting. Now, I'll show it to you. I am actually in love with it. Love, love, love the colors. Now, this is what it looks like in quarters, guys, just so you have an idea, because it is a nice size. I actually didn't measure it, and I apologize for that. If I get a moment, I'll pop it in the description box, the size, but it is a nice substantial size. Let me just open it up for you so you can see its beauty. How gorgeous is that, guys? Now let me show you up close. It is using the V-stitch. And it did start off with a V-stitch cluster in the middle, and I will explain that to you. And it is a rectangle, not a granny square, but a rectangle version of it. And this didn't take very much at all to crochet up, as you can imagine, because it's not a huge project, but I did have to make a few adjustments along the way, and I'll talk to you about them now. But before I let you know which pattern I used, this is the yarn that I use here. So of course it's our blanket yarn. I absolutely love this color. It's like a peacocky teal color, I guess. And this one, I only have a very small amount, and then another very, very small amount sitting in that basket over there. So that's the end of this gorgeous yarn here. Both of them were bought in Millends, and the Millends came in bags of 400 grams each, and in total I've used 800 grams of yarn today. Obviously it's not half and half because the majority of it is this beautiful color here, But in total, I would say that on average, my millings, I've been able to purchase them around $6 a bag or around $7. So we're looking at a beautiful floor rug between $12 and $14. How fabulous is that, guys? And because it is blanket yarn, it is 100% polyester, and it is machine washable. So it's so simple to just pop it in the machine, give it a good wash, and hang it out to dry. So, you know, something that's going to be, you know, trodden on occasion, and, you know, gets, you know, definitely wear and tear. I think that that is a brilliant option as it's the type of fiber or yarn to use to create it, because, you know, we want it to last. So, you know, if it's something that you can actually wash in a machine, how time saving is that? Because I certainly don't want to be lifting a big heavy blanket, because blanket yarn is quite heavy because it is a super bulky, I think number 6 size yarn. Now to crochet it up, I did use my number 8 millimeter hook. Because it is a V-stitch, I didn't want it to be too loose. That's why I went down to the 8 millimeter hook, which actually is the recommended hook size on most ball bands of blanket yarn. So the YouTube tutorial that I used is by Blossom Crochet, and it's called the Cluster V-stitch in the round. That's it, not a granny square. The cluster V-stitch in the round, which makes a circle. And I've always wanted to make a project like this, because I've only ever used that sort of style, or like an oval almost, just for making bags. Anyway, that's another story. So to create this, it says that you know, as the title says, indicates, is that it's for the cluster V-stitch, which is, you know, you do the 2 sides of the V-stitch together, so a double crochet, US terminology, and then you don't end it, then you make another double crochet, 1 chain in between, and the same on the other side, creating your little V, but it's got the 2 strands, 2 double crochets together. Now after I created the middle, you can see it's quite chunky, and you couldn't really, especially with that yarn, see the actual stitch definition. And I love the V-stitch, so I really wanted to show, you know, show it off. And here it is here after that. So there you go, so much prettier. Can you see that, guys? Yes. I can't see you, but you can see the rug, which is all that matters. So what I did, I just adjusted the pattern slightly. As we all know, as crocheters, we do that often. So I realized very quickly that it was creating a very, very bulky corner. You know, the 4 corners were starting to get very bulky, even after I started just doing the V-stitch, the single V-stitch, not the cluster. So then I just had to adjust the pattern slightly. So after I did frog it a couple of times, truth be told, but that was okay, because I wanted it to lie flat, and that was the whole idea of me frogging it and looking at it. So what I did do, you'll see that in some corners, and I'm not sure if you can actually see it, but in some corners, and let me see if I can see where it is to show you. So like, see this one here, I've only done 1 V-stitch in essence, but 3 chain in the middle, whereas the others, like on top, for example, can I show you that properly, guys? Yes, so here on top, for example, there's 2 V-stitches with 2 chain in the middle, and there's the one underneath, which is only 1 V-stitch with 3 chain. That's what helped the rug lay flat. So after I alternated them for a while, I could see that it was working. So what I realized with this pattern is, so the amount of rows, after doing the tealy color, when I started using the variegated one is when I did the single V-stitch with the 3 chains in between rather than 2 in each corner. And of course, to assist me, because I didn't want to lose track of those corners, and I've still got them in there, guys, so I might as well show you, each and every corner has a stitch marker. Now that stitch marker saved me, because after a while you start going a little bit cross-eyed, and I didn't want to miss those corners, because it did take me a little while to make sure that, you know, it was lying flat and I didn't want to miss anything. But it was a very enjoyable project. If I didn't have to tweak it slightly, I probably could have finished it in a night or 2 nights. So maybe 4 hours, but it just took a little bit longer, as I said, because I wanted to make sure that it was as near to perfect as possible. We all know nothing is perfect, but I do think that I got it to lie flat, which is very important for a floor rug because we don't want anybody tripping. So I am so very, very happy with the end result, and we can add this to obviously our list of makes out of blanket yarn, and hopefully some of you will be inspired to choose any of the amazing crochet patterns on YouTube. And I will attempt different style rugs as well. There's the circle, of course, and I really like the semicircle, like the half circle one, maybe for the entrance to our yarn room here. I think that would be very, very pretty. So, you know, in the near future, I may be making some more. Well, I believe that I will be making some more floor rugs out of blanket yarn because it is a beautiful, beautiful fiber to work with, and it does make a beautiful, beautiful end result, has an end result that's gorgeous. So if you do, or if you have already made a rug using blanket yarn, please share it with all of us in the comments down below, and even the pattern that you've used, because it would be a lot of fun to go and visit that one, because, you know, a little bit of inspiration for all of us goes a long way, doesn't it? And also helps us add something else to our crochet to-do list. I absolutely love doing that. Now, let me just recap what we've already made before I say goodbye to you for episode number 5. So in our very, very first episode, of course, I had to go with amigurumi, and I made this gorgeous little penguin. I think he is adorable with or without his hat. Very, very cute. If you want to find out how he was created, just go and visit episode number 1. And then, oh my goodness, I absolutely love this bag, and it goes out with me everywhere, let me tell you. It is perfect little size for when you're going out with your girlfriends or just on your own. Or, you know what, you just want to put your phone, your wallet, and maybe something small. You could probably actually roll up a small cardie in there for the cooler, or a nice little shawl in there as well for the autumn evenings or the spring evenings. So this one is the perfect handbag for going out. Excuse me. And then episode number 3, we made this beautiful basket over here. It is filled with blanket yarn. I absolutely love it, and I use it all the time. And I love blanket yarn because it is so soft and squishy. So that was episode number 3. Now number 4 was a lot of fun because we made some reusable water balloons. Absolutely love this idea. And of course, number 5, we made our beautiful floor rug. So thank you so much for hanging out with me, and let me share with you my latest blanket yarn make. I look forward to seeing you very, very soon with make number 6. As always, I have no idea what it's going to be, but I will definitely share it with you. So until I see you very, very soon, take care, everybody. Bye-bye for now.